Steube, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chief Holt, isn't it true that the functionality of a semi-automatic handgun is exactly identical to the functionality of a semi-automatic rifle?
That is true.
So you would actually agree with Mr. Lott's statement that was earlier and mischaracterized by the chair that a semi-automatic handgun, regardless of the caliber, 9mm, 40, we don't have to get, I mean, we could do that argument for hours. Regardless of the caliber, a semi-automatic handgun operates every time you depress the trigger, a round comes out, functions exactly identical to a semi-automatic rifle.
Well, I don't agree with part, but what I don't agree with...
All I'm asking is a semi-automatic rifle, every time you pull the trigger, a round comes out, correct?
Same as a revolver, yes.
Thank you. So you agree with the way that Mr. Lott characterized that? I've been an elected... I'm sorry?
No, I do not agree with. I think what he was characterizing...
No, a semi-automatic rifle and a semi-automatic handgun function exactly the same. Every time you depress the trigger, a round comes out of the chamber. Is that correct?
As well as a revolver and a single-shot gun.
Thank you. So I've been in elected leadership for 12 years. And when I first got elected in 2010 in the State House, Sandy Hook happened shortly after I was in the State House. And being a former military guy who served in a deployed environment and want to find solutions to problems, I started doing research like a good lawyer does. And I saw that in Florida at the time, all of these shootings that were occurring nationwide were happening in gun-free zones, especially in schools, where you have those perpetrators who want to go in and kill as many defenseless children as possible are going to go to a place where they know that people aren't armed. And at the time in Florida, we didn't have school resource officers in every single one of our elementary schools. So I filed a bill that would do away with gun-free zones specifically in our schools and develop a policy and a program. I actually worked with Sheriff Demings, Val Demings' husband, on this with the Sheriff Association, where we would have certified law enforcement officers with concealed carry permits that would go through a specific gun safety, school safety course, just like the SROs go through, and put those individuals in our school, former current military, former current law enforcement, that would go through a training course that would be able to respond to these type of incidents. Because what Mr. Lott's research has shown, and this is from his, this is today, 94% of mass shootings between 1950 and 2019 occurred in gun-free zones. That is a fact. Sandy Hook's a gun-free zone, Pulse nightclub was a gun-free zone, Parkland was a gun-free zone, the FSU shooting that we had in Florida was a gun-free zone, and Uvalde was a gun-free zone. And regardless of, we will never get evil people out of this world, and regardless of what tool they're using to accomplish the evil they intend on accomplishing, by not having somebody there who is properly trained, who is armed to be able to respond to these type of atrocities, is what is putting all of our children in these horrible situations. And I fought hard to get that changed in Florida, and I believe if that bill would have been passed before Parkland, those kids in Parkland would have been saved because that shooter would know that if he was going to that school, there's gonna be armed, trained people on the other side that could respond to that. So I wanna thank, and I'll yield the remainder of time to Mr. Lott to comment specifically on the gun-free zones and through acts of Congress of what we've done to make gun-free zones a target for these perpetrators who know that when they walk into a school grounds, there's not gonna be anybody there that's gonna be able to respond in a timely manner. And in Florida, and in my district, average response time's 2 to 4 minutes, depending on where law enforcement is. And we all know how quickly the travesties of this evil can occur in such a short period of time by not having somebody armed and trained and able to respond. Mr. Lott, I'll yield the remainder of my time to you.
Yeah, thank you. Look, I mean, you can just read the diaries and manifestos that these killers leave behind. They make it very clear. They're not stupid. Yes. Their goal is to go and kill as many people as possible. And they know if they go to a place where victims can't defend themselves, they're going to be able to go and kill more people. We looked at all school shootings of every type, from an accidental discharge all the way up to a mass public school shooting from 2000 on. There are 20 states that have armed teachers. Varies the percentage of schools in different states, but you're talking about literally thousands of schools. And yet in that entire time, there has never been one single attack where anybody's been killed or injured during any school hours where teachers and staff are able to carry. Every single one of these attacks where anybody's been injured or killed have occurred in schools where guns are banned. And you know, would you rather have a sign in front of the school that says this school is a gun-free zone? Or would you rather have a sign in front of the school that warns potential attackers that someone that they can't identify beforehand is going to be able to possibly stop them? You know, having one officer in a school in uniform, they have an almost impossible job. It's like putting somebody there with a neon sign that says, "Shoot me first," if there's going to be an attack, because they know if they take out the one person in uniform, they're going to have free rein to go after other people that are there. Just read the manifestos, read the diaries. These guys go in extreme detail into explaining why they pick the targets that they do. They're not stupid. Their goal is to get media attention, and they know the more people they kill, the more attention they're going to get.
Thank you for being here.
Gentleman yields back.